Hello, welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. Well, today we continue on in Matthew chapter 17. We're actually almost done with this chapter. We should be done by the end of the week and we'll move into 18. So we're moving right along in our journey through Scripture. So again, today we're going to look at Matthew chapter 17, verses 17 through 21. Verses 17 through 21. And this continues This continues from our reading from yesterday where Jesus heals the epileptic boy. So let's get to our reading. So again, Matthew chapter 17, verses 17 through 21 say, "And Jesus answered, O faithless and perverse generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him here to me." And Jesus rebuked him, and the demon came out of him, and the boy was cured instantly. Then the disciples came to Jesus privately and said, "Why could we not cast it out?" He said to them, "Because of your little faith. For truly I say to you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. And nothing will be impossible to you." So interesting words of Jesus. So we see here that Jesus he's challenging. He's flat out challenging the unbelief of the disciples. And he's suggesting that their attempts to exercise, to heal this boy, they were trying to do it with their own ability. They weren't trying to do it with the power of God. They were believing in themselves. You say they may have been saying, look, we're followers of Jesus. We're the disciples. We were chosen. Let's do this. Instead of saying, like Jesus says in John chapter 15, apart from me, you can do nothing. See, apart from Jesus, we can do nothing. So he's challenging their faith. A small amount of faith can go a long way. There is nothing, everything is possible with God, but we got to be in the right frame of mind for it. We got to be in the right frame of mind for it. You see in verse 21, Jesus says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, that you can tell this mountain to go from here to there. In another gospel, I forget which one offhand, says you can say go from here to there and cast it into the sea. You see, a mustard seed is, I don't know if you've ever seen one. It is a super tiny seed. And Jesus is saying that this little amount of faith, telling the disciples, if you even relied on me a little bit, you could have done this. But you weren't. The disciples tried to drive out to cure the boy using their own ability rather than God's. So I think the lesson for us today is that oftentimes the pressures of the world, all the demands on us, make us lose sight. They make us lose sight of our purpose in Christ. You see, when we feel weak as Christians or even powerless, it's a time to examine our faith. It doesn't mean that we have no faith. It doesn't mean that we stop believing. Some people will try to say that. It's a lie. We are human. We get overwhelmed at times. We lose focus. It doesn't mean that we've lost sight of who Jesus is, etc. When we turn our eyes, we need to examine our faith and make sure that we're trusting in Jesus rather than our own abilities. That's the lesson for us today. So thank you for joining me in this episode of the Daily Bible Podcast. Thank you for joining me each and every day. Have a great day. Be that witness. Show people the love of Christ. Have a great day. God bless you.